Live. Hello guys and welcome to the F2 evaluation race. We are live from Germany, as you can see, Hockenheim. We've got quite a few people in the lobby, about 16 or 17, so hopefully we can collect some nice race pace data and some, really pre-season close action before the season starts. So yeah, let's see how things go. Hopefully the lobby is stable first of all. And then, yeah, hopefully we have some nice battles. I'm joined today by Bad Boy. You may know him from PlayStation or the F2 runner-up from Season 4. So, yeah, should be interesting. 17 people actually in the lobby, so that's pretty decent. I'd say a 19-minute qualifying session. This game obviously changed from 12 minutes from the last game.
Don't want to spoil anything, but Tom Killer has gone into spectate mode apparently.
Okay, he's appearing in the driver list. Hopefully that's not the case. Yeah, he's still in the Ferrari garage. Let's see. Both the Red Bull cars going out. Gamer and let me see Josh. See a wet quali session in F3. You've got a dry one here, so
It's raining.
literally as I say that.
It's raining in the pit lane anyway.
Okay, so this is going to be stressful for the drivers, as now it's raining on their out lap and they roll on their out lap, and there's quite a lot of track already on the racetrack, and there's a driver disqualified for blocking the pit lane. That is young MS. I'm not sure what the case is there, but yeah, he's not gonna qualify anything higher than P17 for today. Hopefully he can make the start of the race. Not sure what kind of problem that is, but we've got most people out on track as Johnny starts his flying lap. Let's ride on board with him. Let's see how the grip is like through sector 1. Turn 1, very wide. I wouldn't be surprised if that was invalid, but through turn 2 now he brakes really late, just as in the dry. Third gear on the exit. That wasn't actually a very bad first sector. There's only Tom Killer on the pit lane, so you might be right. As Gorenishbe has spun it on the exit of turn 1, because now he's going to have to spend another 2 minutes on this out lap to make another flying lap. I'm not sure what the problem is, but he's stuck in 5th gear and he's going very slowly. I'm not sure if he wants to do another flying lap, but the rain is now pouring down. Let's see who will set the benchmark on this early quali session. Stan goes across the line to, I assume, start his qualifying lap, with Warlock now getting himself a 5-place grid penalty. I'm not sure why that is. The Haas driver, a Mercedes driver, is following him. That would be
Josh is about to complete his lap.
Josh. I think he's going to set the first time on board. It's going to be a 12.8. So the rain is affecting lap times, but it's already in the 12, so it's not bad. Let's see if that's going to be beaten anytime soon. It's a 12.9 from the Gamer. Rinky goes third, but Nigel goes on provisional pole by 400 seconds. It's a 12.8, so moving away from that target. Let's see what other drivers got to say. Mitchell with a 13.7 of the best lap from the Red Bull drive. To 6th place with a 15.0. Both Red Bull drivers with off the pace lap times. Jay goes 5th quickest with a 13.4. X goes across the lines with P7. So the rain is really pouring down here. It's affecting lap times, and I wouldn't be surprised if no one can get into the 12s anymore. As the Stan Maledictis, and I believe the Mercedes driver was all of in turn 1, and with over 4 minutes already passed on the session, the rain is really going to start affecting the grip more and more. as every lap passes. Grimsby is still weaving, trying to warm up his tyres. I'm not sure if he's going to get a lap in on this quali session, but you can see Robin with an 18.4 on soft tyres. That would be a wise choice, but the rain, yeah, I don't think it's going to be affected by soft or super soft, whatever you fit on, ultra soft most. But still, a few drivers with no lap time. Someone just put in a lap time on Spaghetti, goes to P11, so unless the rain stops, I think it's going to be Nigel Ball. Padwell, what do you think?
Well, hectic qualifying session. I don't think anyone's going to improve on that.
Yeah.
Tom Taylor says he's not in his car.
That's a problem. I'm not sure why that is, because he is appearing in the driver's list. Hopefully he can get in for the race, that's the important bit. Yeah, a bit confusing, but I'm not sure what's going on. So yeah, people return. Yeah, 31-1. So that's all Grangeby can manage for now. Interesting quali session then for him. It's going to be P13 on the grid most likely, but that time easily going to be beaten on even intermediates.
Oh, Robin! Oh, he spun.
Oh, it's the last corner. Okay. So after playing with grass as well and oversteer, has resulted in a spin for Robin.
He's also on the soft tires, so it shows that the hardest compounds are not working.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of rain out. There's people, interestingly, on the route laps now. Damon L and current setter Nigel. It's a very close quali session, nevertheless. It's 1.5 tenths between the top four, so that's very, very interesting. And our pre-race predictions. DRS has been disabled now, so that pretty much proves, and you can see the rain coming out of the hairpin is really now pouring down heavily, and that might even be intermediates, as now it's popped up for me that DRS has been disabled. So most people still chilling in the pit lane, no one retiring though, so just monitoring the conditions out on track to see if they can make anything out of the last few minutes. But for now it's only Nigel and Rinky, the two Force Indians out on track. Rinky actually on the intermediate, so I'm not sure if it's actually raining for the start of the race for Rinky to go out and test a few intermediate laps.
Nigel's back into the pit.
And we'll see something in the stream chat. Revs are louder than my mic, I'm sorry, but I'm not sure how to fix that. 1 second. I'll just put my mic volume up. Okay, hang on. I can fix that. I'll put the master volume to 6, I think. Let me know if that's better. 19 people watching, so hello, good evening. Good, I don't know.
Bring people out to start his intermediate lap.
So Rinky across the line now. Let's see what the creep is like through turn 1 intermediate, still going wide. So it's interesting crossover conditions. People going out on inters, some people going out on dries, but for now everyone is out on intermediates, as you would imagine. The sky is grey and the track is very, very cold, and intermediates are seemingly working better for now on the racetrack. There's waved yellows on sector 1.
I believe it was Rinky had a moment.
Rinky, so it's currently in sector 2 is Rinky. Again on his out lap. He is. Let me just check the stream chat to see if okay with my audio.
A few more people now saying doing his works and can't
Okay,
get out of his, can't get out of his car.
is it possible if he restarts the game and then he comes back in the lobby from an invite? I'm sure that's possible. And then click on ready up.
Yeah, his car is on the grid, so he's a good driver.
Yeah, I'd suggest that because it's quite convenient to try and restart now. But yeah, pre-season races, obviously this is called an evaluation race, and then we obviously got this in France, in Paul Ricard, the new track for this year, which is going to be called the pre-season testing. So we test the game for one last time before the Australian GP hits your screens. But for now, Tom Kill has left the session and hopefully all problems are fixed. But yeah, I'm not sure what the cause of the problem was. Stuck in the spectator screen. But a fair few drivers. The rain is seemingly getting heavier, yeah, in the stadium section, as you can see from Gamer. But a fair few drivers out on track, obviously intermediates, but the testing conditions, see. I'm not sure what the weather conditions are for the race. It's going to be interesting to see, because in 3 we had a dry to wet race, just like the real life F1 intermediate runners.
Could be raining in the race, so we're just getting some last minute practice.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So yeah, we're not sure what the weather conditions are going to be like. I've got 20 people watching, so if any of them are F2 drivers from this lobby, please inform us on the weather conditions for the race. It'd be very helpful. Still not getting feedback for the audio, if it's all good. Hopefully it is.
Just put in person.
Let's see. Yeah, only 5 drivers, technically 4, as Tom Killer's not in the session, only in the pit. Most drivers out on intermediate, a couple of them have retired from the session, as obviously no point on trying to improve lap time. But let's see if anyone gets some nice lap times in on the intermediates. Johnny at the moment is at 23.5, I don't think that's on the intermediates. I doubt it, as he loses the back end coming into the corner after the hairpin. Probably a bit lower brake bias than he would have wanted for the wet, so he should increase that, I guess, the brake bias. But yeah, Johnny currently sitting in P13 with a 23.5. Greenwich Beer also coming across the line right now. Let's see if he improves. Yes, he does. He actually passes Johnny in the overall classifications. He goes into P13 and he now retires as he cannot improve his lap time. So Johnny now knocked down to P14. Will he do anything to improve his lap time? Let's see, as he now starts his lap through turn 1. Seems all good. So most people now returning to the pit lane with just under 5 minutes to spare. Yeah, let's see what Johnny can do. I think Tom Killer's out on track on ultra soft tyres. Yeah.
This could be an interesting one.
So that's out with a bang on the ultra soft tyres. Let's see if he can get a lap in. First of all, most importantly, goes a bit wide. That's actually not. I'm not sure if he's on ultra soft, because that's not bad grip he has. Let me just check the tyre details.
He has got a lot of grip there.
Oh, yeah, he's got a lot of grip. That's what I was saying. He's got almost as grip.
On screen, it's back to right. Is what we're saying in the chat.
Oh wow, interesting. Yeah, Tom Killer's got.
Like it's wet where the tires.
Yeah, he's got interesting grip. I'm not sure. He's almost got. Okay, as we say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Johnny as well spinning off into sector 3, and I think that's going to be his qualifying session done and dusted just like that. I don't think he's got any other intermediate sets or any other courage to try and beat his lap. He goes back into the pits, and with only a couple of drivers out on the track, I don't think we're going to see any more adjustments to the classifications for the start of the grid. Tom Killer has also... I'm not sure. Tom Killer's screen is really glitching out. It says he is finished, as in... yeah. So, not sure what race he is in, but he's out right now on our screen. And he's still going on ultra soft tires. Yeah, that's a bit interesting. Robin, let's see what Robin does, because on my screen he's right behind Tom Killer.
We get a slipstream, though.
Get a slipstream, but it's the two Ferraris. And I'm not sure if Robin even has Tom Killer ahead of him in the screen. Yeah, it's quite unique what we're seeing. Tom Killer, I think, has gone AI. I'm not exactly sure. Robin now passes him, and I think they are the only two. Oh, alright. Let's see if we get a little bit of a battle in sector 2 between the Ferraris. Most people have retired, as Stan, AFC Stan, is now going out on wet tires, as I saw the Ferraris crashing there. I'm not sure if that's correct. Yeah, Robin has retired, and well, Tom Killer is also AI, so we're just waiting for AFC Stan. Well, his car has been deflected by Tom Killer's Ferrari, so Tom Killer is certainly on this lobby. At least that's a positive we can take. Yeah, Stan needs to retire, as 1.5 minutes left in the session. He's out on wet tires. We've seen 4 compounds, I think, on this session. Ultra softs, soft, inters and wets now. So I don't think I've ever seen that before. 4 compounds on one 18-minute quali session. So yeah, we're just waiting for Stan to start this early race in Hockenheim.
I think he might end up doing the lap on the wet.
We'll see, it's up to him, to be fair, but let's see what he does. He's not gonna AI. He's struggling even on wets. Or interesting conditions out there. I'm pretty sure these were the kind of rainy conditions that we the end of the F3 race, as Stan now leaves us on the dying stages of qualifying.
It was heavy rain for the start of the race.
That's gonna spice things up. Would prefer it to be dry, not gonna lie, as that's what the F3 start was like, and we may get a bit more chaos with a wet running. So yeah, you can see the final standings, 1/10 between the top 4. It's Nigel on pole, LMC Joss second on the Alfa Romeo, Rinky in third, the Gamer NL2000 in 4th place, Jay in 5th, Mitchell in 6th, Maledictus 7th, Stan in 8th, and the 2 Finnish drivers of Undefined and JTX rounding up the top 10 for you. Spaghetti, Robin, Grangeby and Johnny on the top 14, with Tom Killer in 15th, and I believe Warlock in 16th. And obviously Young MS being disqualified is going to be starting in the very last place of the grid for this evaluation race. Is the unofficial German GP, and indeed it's a wet start for the race, as we got no sound for the pre-race. Now drivers are putting on their setups. We've got a formation lap, so don't worry. We've got a couple of minutes before the main action starts, so let's just read through some messages on the chat. Johnny's complaining again for his qualifying position, that it could have been better. Oh, I'm just hearing myself, sorry about that. Let's have the drivers now readied up. Don't forget to subscribe and like the stream. for more content, we will be giving out race commentaries, live streams for hopefully every race this year for all 3 tiers, as now the formation lap is moments away, with Nigel leading the pack away, LMC Josh in second, he said, and the other Force India in third. So let's see how this classification pans out on the end of the first lap. I think that's going to be quite interesting to see, as Rinky's doing some serious tyre weaving. Yeah, Josh in AI mode now goes back out of it. So let's just go to the broadcast camera. JTX and Spaghetti have backed out of their formation laps. Wow, okay, Rinky is doing some serious tyre weaving. I'm telling you, like, he's going all over the track. I'm not sure.
I know for the wet you don't have to warm the tyres up as much. But...
yeah, not sure. They're genuinely, their optimal temperature is quite low anyway, so I don't think.
Around about 60-70 degrees in the wet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like you start the formation lap with that temperature anyway, so yeah, Ricky's weaving the tyres a lot. Tyre wear is not going to be much of an issue.
Very wide.
Yeah, it does go wide. As I guess aquaplaning, I guess he's just learning the conditions more like tyre weaving, but we'll see how this all plans out, as now he's going to be removed from the formation lap most likely after a collision with Josh. So yeah, Nigel.
In the best of it, you will have to do active
yeah.
so you'll have no cars in front of him.
Yeah, exactly. If he gets through turn 1 unscathed, I think people behind are gonna struggle to catch him up, as we have a lot of fans today in this evaluation race, sold out, as you can see on the what's called grandstands. Yeah, obviously they all came to see this evaluation race, but the cars
also,
now.
The like spray coming off the cars is a lot more this year, so
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting because first 2 races we've had, and they've both had a fair amount of rain in them, but now the lights are coming on and the 16 people in the lobby are revving their engines, and it's lights out for the evaluation race finally. And Tom Killer gets a drive-through penalty. He's in 16th at the moment. Nigel into turn 1. You can see Josh there cutting the corner, but he still stays in P2. Rinky stays in P3, and the top 5 have not. Now Mitchell is up into P5, and Josh is going to make a move down the inside of Nigel. They're going to be side by side on the exit of turn 2, and Josh has lost it, and instead of taking P1, he is going to try and stay in P2, as the other Force India of Ring is going at him with a slipstream now. Let's see if he can make a move into the hairpin. It's going to be some tough braking into there, and Josh is going to go for the move on Nigel. Nigel leaves him the room, and he goes very, very wide himself, and now Nigel is down to 3rd place, with Josh leading, Rinky in 2nd, and Nigel fighting to keep 3rd place, as Mitchell and Gamer are very, very close to him. And there was a McLaren absolutely jumping everywhere. Oh yeah, Maledictus has now left the session. A lot of lag. I saw that McLaren jumping everywhere on the screen. But the top 10, you can see Tom Killer already up into P10. That's an incredible start. 6 positions now, 7 as he passes Maledictus. That's a great start for the Ferrari driver.
Also up 6.
Yeah, Grange also on to P7. Mitchell, a very nice start from him. I believe 2 positions gained. Let's see. Yeah, 2 positions gained from Mitchell, 2 lost for Nigel, respectively. 6 gained for both Grangebeer and Tom Killer, as Josh obviously crosses the line first after lap 1. And as we said, yeah, that's true. Tom Killer has a drive-through. I'm not sure why he jumped the start, and I'm not sure if on your screen the lights went out ridiculously early.
Well, mine didn't.
Okay, because
my lights never came on.
okay, so that's another interesting glitch.
Robin and Tom just collided.
Robin and Tom, the 2 Ferraris. Yeah, they've had quite an argy-bargy in qualifying, and now Robin is having some contact with X Undefined as well. So Tom Killer served his drive-through, and he's still ahead of his teammates as there's battling going on for P9 but also for P14 down the hairpin. Let's see if Undefined can pass Robin. I believe so. Robin breaks a tad bit later, but it's going to go a bit wide just like Nigel did in lap 1. X Undefined leaves a lot of space and is going to sacrifice a lot of traction there, but I think he's got the move done. And now Nigel and Rinky are going at it for P2. Nigel has got past and is now a position closer to his pole sitting position, so let's see if he can actually catch Josh and make up the lost time. But Rinky down to P3 and Mitchell and Gamer around the outside. Can he make it stick? That would be an incredible move. Mitchell is pushed to the inside and Gamer around the outside. Great move. Mitchell hits his side port as Josh makes another fastest lap. Let's see Gamer, a bit of a tighter line through turn 1, but Mitchell is the one who loses it, and now Jay is all over the back of that Red Bull. Let's see if the Mercedes driver can get a better exit out of turn 2, but even earlier here on the entry of turn 2 he gets all over the back of that Red Bull. Mitchell and Jay lose the back end. Look at Mitchell, that rear end is going everywhere except the track. And Jay is now very close. Grenishby is going to make it 3 wide into the hairpin. The 2 Mercedes and the Red Bull. Who's going to come out on top here? Grenishby has the inside line. Jay down the middle. No contact, no crash made. But Jay somehow from the middle escapes and gets up into P5. Grenishby makes it 7 places gained, with Mitchell very lively through that second sector. His car's going absolutely everywhere. Stan is stationary 8, with Nigel actually losing a bit of time to Josh. As you can see, was 1.6, now he's lost about half a second. But yeah, very interesting moment there down the hairpin 3 wide, and I think it's gonna keep on going every lap because Jay is not pulling away from Grangebeer, at least on this lap 2nd and 3rd sector. Grangebeer looks to be in a way more stable car. It's Maledicted as spun. I'm sure he was out of the session. Maybe he's rejoined. Yeah, I think he's rejoined. He is driving the car. Nigel, wow! He spun around. Nigel's off the track in the exit of turn 1. That's very interesting. Do you see what happened?
No, I only caught the end of it.
Wow, so from P2, it's going from bad to worse for Nigel today. He's almost outside the points now, and yeah, that's certainly the dreams of a race win gone today for Nigel. He's now going to fight to get a top 5 on this race as who's that? Why am I not getting a name? I'm not getting. Okay, now it's a Warlock. We're spectating. 9 positions gained now for Greenwich, you can see, and 7 for Warlock, as Young MS is having some connection issues, I would imagine. Oh, now Warlock loses the back end, and he might collide with Nigel. They're very close to each other, as there is a Pirelli and Rolex signboards all over the track. Warlock's going to go around the outside, they bang wheels. A bit of a sidepod glitch there. Nigel's still on the inside, side by side with these two into the stadium section now. The crowd will be roaring for these two battling. The Haas is going to back out, he's going to think better of it. And Nigel makes the position up into P9, makes the move stick. And let's see how Grangebeer is doing. 9 positions gained, that's an incredible start. Also, Tom Killer is making inroads into the top 10 after the drive-through penalty. We saw he has some good rhythm. As we say that, he's up into P11 and incredibly close to P10 of Warlock. Let's see how Warlock is doing. He's very close to Nigel, as he was passed a few moments ago.
Oh, Robin is around that.
Oh, wow. Robin's day is also going very badly today. Yeah, that's an interesting place to lose, but that's a pretty high curb on the exit of the stadium hairpin, so it might have lost it there. A bit of water, standing alone on the curb, and Robin has caught up a bit of it. But now Warlock is now very feisty with Nigel. Nigel up into P9 now, going side by side, and Tom as well. Wow, look at that. Nigel off the track. Nigel's now going to try and make the move stick again into the 2nd sector. lovely heli cam we've got here. Look at the Ferrari all over the back of the Haas and the Force India. Is Tom gonna go for a move into the stadium section? We're gonna have to wait and see. Good exit from the Ferrari. The Haas of Warlock goes wide. Tom down the inside of Nigel and Warlock. And Warlock has a bit of contact with Tom there, but somehow none of them well, obviously damage is off, but none of them spin, which is quite a miracle. So Tom still in P11, still not into the points paying positions. Nigel holding off into P10. Warlock must have pooped his pants there watching Tom Killer coming down the inside, and now he's gonna spin his car himself on the exit of turn 1. And yeah, a lot of people getting caught as a victim in the exit of turn 1. Very interesting corner, and that makes Tom Killer now go up into P10. Let's see if he can make it one better now into the run to the hairpin. Nigel looking very vulnerable on that Force India. Tom Killer goes down the inside. Will this be a textbook move for the Ferrari driver? I think it might well be, as Nigel has the outside line, doesn't get the traction he wants, and that's Tom up into P9. But let's see if Nigel's going to come back at him. As we know, it's a very late breaker. Is he going to surprise Tom? No, he's not. I think it's better of it. So let's focus now on the battle for P2. Rinky and Gamer. Josh has obviously pulled away a bit more, 2.3 seconds, but the pace is generally very stable, to be honest. There's now Warlock, I think. Wow. Another mistake from Warlock. Maybe contact with Johnny, I'm not 100% sure. Well, they were very close to each other when that contact was made. But yeah, Warlock now.
For sector 1, rain dying down slightly.
Alright, so that's interesting. Yeah, you can see rain. Yeah, I'd take more sector 3 where Warlock was a few moments ago, and has Robin. No, that's Johnny actually. That's Johnny. First mistake. Yeah, first mistake from what I remember today. Yeah, Robin and Johnny and Warlock, all a lot of mistakes today. So yeah, they are down in the last 3 places of the grid now. Tom Killer's pulled away a bit. Yep. Wow, Mitchell's very close to Jay. And Spaghetti. Oh, Stan. Spaghetti around the outside. I think he's going to get the move done actually around the outside. The Toro Rosso banging wheels with the Williams very close to each other, coming to the stadium section, and we've got battle for P2. But we're going to focus on this one. Around the outside, is it? Are they still side by side? Yes, they are. Spaghetti goes down the inside. Stan is going to try and make a move stick there, but he couldn't quite hold it. Rinky and Gamer in the meantime we're having a battle as Grenchbeer does the quickest lap of the race. So 9 places gain wasn't enough for him. Yeah, Josh has lost about a second. You're right, it was 2.3. So and Gamer and Rinky were battling as well, so a lot of time lost for Josh, possibly a big mistake. And there's more yellow flags, but that's sector 3. JTX. Okay. Have a slight spin near the half spin. Alright, so that's another interesting spin in the last sector. So first corner in the last sector, most victims there. But you can see Grangebeer catching a lot. Another sector 3 waved yellow. That's for Johnny. So wow. It's good that we don't have damage today. I'm not sure how many front wings would be gone, to be honest, by this point. But Gamer, as you said, he's catching, and he's catching even more now. 2/10 gain on this middle sector, and Josh, a small mistake there is cost him about 3/10, I'd say 2 or 3/10, as Undefined and JTX are swapping positions a bit. We're going to focus on this battle for the lead now, as the top 3 are covered by less than 1.8 seconds, and Josh's rear tires are absolutely gone. I think Josh's rear tires are absolutely on fire right now, and he's gonna have to manage a lot on that Sauber. Let's see, through turn 1 you can see he just cannot keep the car. I don't think they're gonna last for much longer. It's only lap 9, and for only just a 1 stop you're gonna have to go to at least lap 16. So Josh, there we go, he loses the back end. And that's very unfortunate because the tire temperatures are absolutely a nightmare on this game if you get them wrong. And yeah, a couple of mistakes from Josh, a couple of oversteering moments heat up the rear tires, and well, I think that's the cause of this problem. He's left now the session, but to be fair, he had a quite good pace, but obviously didn't manage the tires quite well, as Gamer, Rinky and Greenwich are doing. Greenwich meanwhile very quick still, 1.5 to the top two, and he's still pushing, he's still gaining on them top two. A small mistake from Rinky, you saw they're going wide into that second sector corner. Now it's 10 positions gained for Greenwich. Warlock gambles and goes to the intermediate tires, as now Johnny has retired from the session. He's had enough, he's down in P15, and he's also left the session for good measure. So let's see what Warlock can do on these intermediate tires now. There's waved yellows in sector 1. Sorry for switching cameras a bit too fast, I'm just trying to figure out what's happening.
Oh, I think it was Johnny's car.
Okay, that would make sense. So Johnny's car now retired. At least we're not gonna have waved yellows all the race long like in the last game.
Catching Robin quickly.
Warlock. Okay. Let's see the gaps. He is catching rapidly, and well, we're gonna just compare his lap times to the leaders. Warlock now through sector 2. Gamer did a 39.7, so he's in the 39s.
If you were watching the stream, you might be able to notice that Warlock is going quicker on the intermediates, and they may dive in for a sec.
Yeah, Warlock is in the low 40s. Gamer was still in the high 39s on wets. So I think the leaders are still just a tad quicker than Warlock on inters, but that doesn't mean that inters are quicker.
Could have a very big moment. Oh,
Mitchell and Spaghetti. Spaghetti makes a move done, I believe, and up into P5 he goes. Mitchell stays where he started on the grid, P6. As you can see, the rear tires are slightly getting out of shape here on the last sector. A lot of traction zones. Oh, as we say that, Mitchell, small moment, which is going to allow Stan to get down the inside into turn 1. Mitchell with an interesting switchback in turn 1. It might actually work out for him here, you know. Down into turn 2, the braking. Stan brakes incredibly late, and that might actually help him on the run down to the hairpin. Mitchell gets a tad bit better exit, and now down to the hairpin. There's still slipstream, which is good to see as people have left the session. Let's see if Stan can brake later. Yes, he can. Down to the hairpin. Is Mitchell going to go for the third switchback this lap? Yes, he is. And I think this time it might be. No, it's not. It's a very annoying collision. They tangle on the straight, and Stan's going to let him through. So that's fair and square. Mitchell goes wide, and I think Mitchell's tires are now gone. So yeah, it's an interesting factor on this game, the tire temperatures. You got carcass temperature as well, which is the temperature of the inside tire. So if that goes up, then yeah, it's very hard. I think most people know this game, and you can see Stan also loses the back end as Gamer now, and the Stan and Mitchell meet again on track somehow, as both of them have mistakes. Now they meet on a battle for P7, as both of their tires are absolutely gone. Meanwhile, Gamer has pulled away over 3 seconds from Rinky. That is quite incredible, to be fair, as the pace of these two were quite similar on the start of the race, and now Rinky is finding himself way closer to P3 than on P1. Nigel.
Robin and Johnny and a few others spun around.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of time now. Josh is I was about to say he's all over the back of him, but he's out of the session. JTX is still a fair few seconds behind the Force India driver, but it's still nothing better for him. Nigel started on pole position. Finding yourself in P9 from P1 is always heartbreaking obviously, but yeah, it is what it is. Nigel is still going on this race.
Second person in the intermediate.
Warlock still on the intermediates, under fine on the intermediates. So yeah, tie situation again, an interesting situation here. We've got 2 people on the intermediates down the back of the grid, and the top 12 that is on the wet tires. As now Gamer completes his 11th lap. AFC Stan, sorry, and Mitchell still going at it for P7, and okay. Okay, that's Stan pushing Mitchell off the track. That's not another mistake from Stan from my POV. That looked like, okay, he's gonna let him through again, is Stan, but that was interesting. That looked interesting from Mitchell's POV. Robin and Undefined are swapping positions now, as Undefined gets the move done on Robin. Let's see if Warlock can also get past sooner or later. Robin loses the back end. He hasn't got the best grip right now after 11 laps on these wets. Let's see, Warlock has got a lot more grip, a lot more commitment. The car is sticking to the ground way better than Robin's, as you can clearly see. And AFC Stan and Mitchell still going at it. Let's see what they do this time. Stan has made a move down the inside onto the hairpin, and he finds himself yet again in front of Mitchell. So they are battling. It's right now the closest gap we have got, I believe, along with obviously the gap for P2 and P3, which is now under 4 tenths as we say that. And it's very close. Rinky is not losing time to Gamer. Actually, Gamer is losing time to both of the drivers behind, as Warlock now finally passes Robin for P13. Robin now on the last place of this race on wet tires. Rinky loses the back end. Greenwich Beer, let's see if he can make a move down into the hairpin, as we've seen a lot of times this race. Is Rinky going to cover the inside line or the outside line? It's going to be the outside, and now Greenwich Beer is going to take the inside line. He's got a lot of space on the inside. Is he going to use his advantage? Oh, he pushes Rinky off the track. Not sure if that was contact that pushed Greenwich Beer's car to the outside, but it looked like Grimsby had a Rosberg moment there and just opened up the steering, from what it looked like at least. But now Rinky's gonna push, I'm sure, to get that position back. At the moment is Gamer. Yeah, Nigel's also pitted for intermediates. Now 3 people intermediates, and that is Undefined. That is getting the fastest lap of the race on intermediates, and also without a 3 single penalty. So let's see.
Yep, Gamer is coming in response to the fastest lap, I think.
There we go. So everyone going in. It's going to be interesting to see who gets held up, and it's going to be interesting to see if the intermediates make it to the end. Yeah, everyone's going in. Yeah, I don't think it is going to go to the end. So let's see if anyone.
More than half the race distance.
It is, yeah. But these drivers know. I think if they pit right now, then they might think it's okay. Let's see, it's 20 laps, it's about 4% per lap these guys have to do. Obviously you can say damage is off, so you cannot get a puncture, but we'll see how it goes. Gamer still exactly the same gap as it was before, 2.6 seconds to Greenwich Beer. Rinky follows up another 1.3 behind Spaghetti, Jay, Tom, Mitchell, AFC, Stan. Now Josh is coming in pit on his AI. JTX stays out on wets. He's the only one to do that. So JTX staying out on wets. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's what we said, the tie where intermediates might not make it to the end, but it's gonna lose a fair bit of time, about 5 or 6 seconds I'd imagine on this lap. So interesting call from JTX, the only one on wets. The interesting question now is the track gonna dry up for slicks? That's maybe why the drivers have pitted so early for inters. Maybe we're gonna see slicks on this race as well, and it's not gonna have to be 20 laps. these drivers have to do. Maybe not, maybe they will have to tire conserve. We'll see probably from the pace of these drivers. You can see Game already 4/10 quicker on this lap than Grangebeer. So let's ride on board with Grangebeer through turn 1 now. Not pushing way too hard. Battle for 10th place. Yeah, indeed, JTX on the west is going to struggle through this last sector. And also Nigel is very close. Let's see here what happens. Undefined very close to JTX. And Nigel is going to close up now. JTX is helping Nigel a treat! And that is... interesting. That is JTX... Yeah. JTX trying to go to the pits. Nigel has been helped to go up into P9 and do the fastest lap of the race. That was very unfortunate from Undefined. A lot of time penalties on that first corner in the meantime, as we're on lap 16 of this race, and we've still got way more than half of this race to do. Undefined has lost it, and very close to the barriers there on the exit of turn 3. So yeah, I believe he's running no traction. Correct him if I'm wrong, but that was a very severe loss of traction there. So I'm pretty sure he's running no traction control. I'm not sure though. Gamer sets the quickest lap of the race, and he's absolutely dominating this intermediate stint. It's 3.5 seconds now, the gap. You can't say Grangebeer is slow. He's still 1.2 ahead of Rinky. So Gamer is really getting the most out of that Williams to do some quick laps. Tom Killer gets the fastest lap as well, as the track is improving, and he gets a 3-second penalty on top of that again. So now what's going on? No gaps really under 1 second. The closest one it was between P2 and P3, so we're just waiting to see what the pace really looks like from the top 5 drivers, and if the rain is going to start drying up, and if the track is going to improve a lot to go on slicks. Basically, as we say that, Gamer now loses the back end at the end of sector 2 and approaching now the stadium section. So interesting. He's fast, but he shouldn't push that much. He may risk it losing, putting it in the wall. So yeah, still a lot of pushing from these guys. JTX, about to pass Josish AI. Let's see what the stream is saying. Yeah, in the meantime, I'm just right on board with Rinky Morris. So about the same gap every lap, 1.3 to Grangebeer. Let me just read some of the messages.
The gap between Jay and Spaghetti is dropping slowly.
Yeah, Maledictus is just saying he had a internet connection issue. Jay and Spaghetti are also getting very close to each other every lap. Now Undefined goes quickest on 6 lap all tires on the intermediates as always. If you got any questions about how the league works or when these races take place, make sure you put them on the live chat. We're gonna see them and answer them when we can. But yeah, for now we are reached halfway point on this race a lap ago actually. So slowly getting to the latter end of this race, and the rain is seemingly getting a bit lighter. You can see it's like what it was in qualifying.
Yeah,
intermediate conditions.
Be dropping a bit as well, so could maybe go to live.
Yeah, indeed. Obviously the track was dry. It started raining. Now it was heavy rain, and the rain is lighting up. So the track is still going to be very wet, even if the racing run appears, and even if rain actually stops and it's time for slick. So it's going to be very interesting to see if someone goes on slicks, and yeah, it's going to be obviously a big risk always to go on that. But we saw Warlock up into P10 now, so that gamble on intermediates really did pay off, and now he's just over 6 seconds away from his next target, Nigel. So let's see if he's the one to make a gamble again. Sector 2 got yellow flags.
Stan is...
Ooh, Stan.
Whoa.
I'll be Stan, I think. Williams out on yeah, the runoff area in the sector 2 section. Spaghetti goes quickest now. Yeah, it's quite random fastest laps, I'm not sure, but every other driver is doing them, even if it
So
is...
every 2 laps is a fastest lap, so
yeah,
it is slowly drying, I think.
Yeah, it is drying up, but a bit slowly. I think just check the lap times. Now we're in the high 23s. Spaghetti did the quickest lap over 23.6, and is still improving on our first sector. So yeah, maybe intermediate now on their optimal working temperature, or maybe the track is drying up, but the rain is about the same as it was last lap. So maybe we'll see a change in the next few minutes. We'll have to wait and see. Under 5 gets a time penalty, so let's just check the time penalties of the leaders. 1 warning for Gamer, 3 warnings for Greenwich Beer. Rinky has got a penalty very recently. Spaghetti has got a couple of warnings. Jay has got a warning. So most people keeping it clean. Tom with a penalty. Mitchell on the verge of getting one. Yeah, a lot of people with a couple of warnings. And Warlock with a penalty. So only Warlock, Tom, and I believe it was Rinky. Yeah, Rinky who had a penalty, and now he's got another warning this lap, so he's on the verge of getting a second one. Tom in the meantime with a 23.6, that's very narrowly improved on the last lap's time from Spaghetti. He was still at 23.6, so track's not getting massively quicker, but we're getting there. The quickest
Spaghetti,
intermediate lap.
Every lap seems to be a few tenths quicker than Rinky, so...
Yeah, we might see him closing on now. The gap is 3.1 seconds. I'm not sure what it was before. Undefined Warlock pits. Don't tell me that's for slicks. Surely not.
His tyres have already gone.
Yeah, it's 12 laps old. He did pit earlier.
Is that the expected life expectancy? It's quite low.
Yeah, to be fair, it is. Well, it's certainly not 20 laps that we were expecting. Pitted on lap 14. Now the leaders are on their 6th intermediate lap, so let's see. It's just interesting.
Oh, Stan and Nigel.
Stan and Nigel, all very close to each other. Nigel, he doesn't go for the move down the inside in sector 2. Greenwich is going now in second place, so that evens up with Rinky. So now Rinky him on track. Stan is really losing the back end. Nigel is now finding his feet in these intermediate conditions, but can he get past on this lap? I don't think so. Stan is slightly pulling away on this last sector. I think he may be running a dry setup, if I'm honest, as Park Ferme was off, and most of these people didn't I guess didn't know that there was rain coming. Let's see. Stan in front of big straight. It's all about this exit. Nigel picks up a bit of grass on the inside. Stan going very wide. There's yellow flags.
Robin.
Again. It's Robin again. So Day's going from bad to worse. He's in the last place, even overtaken by Josh. So yeah, Not his day today. Stan and Nigel. Nigel, I think, try to move down the inside in the hairpin, and I think he might try another one here. Around the outside, thinks better of it. He might go for a switchback. Stan goes a tad bit wide, and they make more contact. Nigel gets pushed off wide, so that remains us with Stan in P8 and Nigel in P9. Still very close to each other, so we're gonna see more battling from these two, hopefully. As you said, Spaghetti is rapidly closing up to Rinky. It was 3.1, remember, now it's 1.8. So we're going to have to keep a close eye on that, as the lead is now on the 8th lap on intermediate. Let's see, Nigel very close to standstill. This is for P8. Nigel should technically have better race pace than Stan. Stan loses the back end. Nigel's going to try and go around the outside in turn 2. Ooh, he gets a good apex speed. He might well do it. Nigel down the inside in turn 3, and are going to be almost side by side in the run to the hairpin. Stan covers the inside line. Contact on the straight. Stan breaks way later. Nigel with a switch move. It's not going to quite work out for him. Stan beautifully defends P8. And now again he defends the inside line. In the second sector corner, Stan loses the back end. Nigel might go down the inside. Yes, he does. But Stan once again places his car just right for Nigel to not make any advantage. Oh, Stan again. He's not going to be able to defend this, is he? Nigel around the outside. They make contact, and Nigel off to the gravel almost. Stan somehow still in P8. He's absolutely defending. Yeah, with all he's got, really. Spaghetti and Rinky now down to 1.5. He's gained a couple more tenths again. As let's see what's going to happen this lap. A lot of argy-bargy between these two. A lot of contact made. Are they going to keep it clean this lap? Stan again loses the back end and lag.
Nigel will pit earlier. He's on one lap all the tyres if they do decide to pit.
Yeah, indeed. Let's see, there's still 10 laps to go, so it's either pit now or stretch these to the end, in my opinion, if the rain doesn't stop. Stan covers the inside line and he moves to the outside again. Nigel's gonna go down the inside. Stan moves to the inside. Nigel down the inside, brakes incredibly late. He brakes too late, and that is Stan again up into P8.
Oh, Greenwich Beer pitting.
Greenwich Beer is gonna pit. Interesting. New set of inters. So as we said, pit now or go to the end. Greenwich Beer is going to try and undercut his opponents. Tom into the pits. Yeah, clean stop. There we go. And Greenwich Beer rejoins P5. Tom Keller is going to be close with Mitchell, I think. But I think Tom Keller is safe in P6, so P5 and P6 for the fresh intermediates. Question is, are the top 4 gonna keep on going in the same set of inters? Spaghetti very close to getting under a second from Rinky as Stan now pits, and he ruins the battle for P8. But it's gonna be a fresh set of intermediates, and hopefully Mitchell pits as well. And Nigel pits as well, and we see a battle with Stan again. But for now, we're gonna have to keep an eye out on Spaghetti and Rinky, as Spaghetti is now under 0.8 of a second. Rinky is really struggling on these intermediates. It wouldn't surprise me if he pitted, and it does surprise me that he doesn't. So game is still carrying on. 11th lap on this set, and I think now we can say that these guys are going to the end. Yellow flag in sector 1. Oh, that's JTX. Interesting spot. Turn 1. See Spaghetti 6 tenths behind Rinky, going into the big straight. 8 laps to go. Will we see a change in the podium positions, or will we see Jay joining them in the fight for the podium positions? Is the closest fight we've got right now. Very good hairpin for both of them. Gap stays the same. We've got 13 runners on this race still. Through sector 2 now. Let's see how they fare in the second sector. I believe Spaghetti's a tad bit quicker on the second sector and in the third sector in my opinion, as Rinky is just lacking a bit of pace on both of these sectors. Both of the cars are looking stable, and remember, Rinky has got a penalty. Spaghetti, I don't think he does. He's only got one warning actually, so relatively clean for Spaghetti. Gamer's also not got a penalty. Greenwich Beer has one and Rinky has one, and I believe Tom also has one. Spaghetti's lost it. Spaghetti's lost it. So now the tieway is kicking in. It's 11 laps that he's been on this set, and Rinky on the meantime gets another time penalty, so that's incredibly frustrating for Spaghetti. And if he closes up just 2 more seconds, he'll still be able to get a podium position, but that's incredibly frustrating. And with just 7 or 8 laps to go, I think that might be his chance of getting a P2 gone. But look at how frighteningly quick he's gaining on the front 2. As we got some action on the pit lane, it's going to be Nigel. Let's see if Nigel comes out ahead, probably behind Afstan. Let's see Stan around the front corner.
15 laps on the intermediate.
Yeah, it's the longest stint I think we've seen today from any compound. 15 laps, and he's doing okay to be fair. He's losing the back end a few times. Stan just about ahead of Nigel, but I wouldn't be surprised with 2 laps fresher tyres if Nigel can catch up the Williams driver, especially when he has better race pace. Warlock with a 3-second penalty. So yeah, lead is still going. Top 4 on 13 lap old intermediates now. Let's check the position changes. We've still got Greenwich Beer and Tom Killer on most position gained. Now Greenwich Beer is going to start catching to the back of Spaghetti, so we'll keep an eye out on the podium positions. It's all very interesting with Rinky having 2 penalties, Jay not having any but having way less race pace at this stage than Spaghetti, Greenwich Beer and Tom Killer, but Tom Killer is way further back and he has got a penalty as well. Greenwich Beer quicker, but he's got a penalty. So it's all very, very interesting. In my opinion, I think Spaghetti is certainly gonna get a podium position with no penalties. I don't actually remember if Jay has got one. Yeah, he has got one actually. Jay has got one, as Nigel gets a penalty as well. Let's see if Nigel's closing up to the back of Stan. For now he's not, but now it's the time where his intermediates are going to come into play. They're going to have warmed up and ready to take on 100% race pace now. Fastest laps, quali laps from now to the end is 6 laps to go. The tyres surely can take 6 laps. Pushing flat out. Let's see if Stan is going to keep P8 to the end of the race. Nigel's losing time on this middle sector. He's lost 2 tenths.
He's getting away from Roy for flat. He's catching Jay very quickly.
Indeed, yeah. So Mitchell now the quickest lap. Again, that's random. Obviously, Mitchell on 2 lap hold intermediates, so you would expect him to be quick. Nigel now, there we go, 9 tenths now the gap. He's gained a staggering 8 tenths on that last sector alone, so must be lacking quite a bit of pace on that last one. Already 3 tenths gain and way later braking than Nigel. As we said, now the tyres are coming into temperature and they are just that couple of laps fresher that you need. That's 8 to 10% fresher than the car in front, and now he's gonna start gaining. Stan will start feeling the pressure from the Force India car. There's 4.5 laps to go on this race. Undefined still going on 17 lap all tyres, and his pace is not bad, so he's currently P8. He's actually catching Mitchell just a tad. Stan loses the back end yet again. This is now a battle for P9, not for P8. Stan losing the back end, so does Nigel on this last sector. Nigel is way quicker on this last sector, but he won't be able.
Fuel bar is lit up.
That's an interesting factor as well. Yeah, it is yellow, so he won't be able to use rich mix or even standard in most part of the tracks. And it now goes wide, so it's an interesting situation. Let's see, AFC Stan is okay with fuel, and Nigel is pushing quite a lot with the ERS as well. It's got a bit more than Stan saved up. That's a very good exit. It's a very good exit from Nigel. Will he go down the inside or around the outside? There's no room on the inside, so he's going to go for the outside. Stan defends the inside line. No way for a switchback, says Stan on the exit of that hairpin. Defends again very nicely, as Grangebeer now has decreased the gap under 2 seconds to Spaghetti. Let's see through the middle sector. Is Stan going to lose the back end again on this corner? No. Nigel should really go lean mix through this section, and definitely not go wide like that. He's got a bit of gravel now on his tyres, which is going to compromise him a bit on this lap. Stan loses the back end. Stan loses the back end a lot, and he's got a lot of time lost here. Nigel's all over the back of him. Let's see what happens. The fuel is no longer yellow for Nigel. Let's see, up into rich mix, I would imagine, for Nigel. Stan's looking very vulnerable on that Williams, and Nigel has lost it. We've just been just ruined from another battle yet again today. It was Spaghetti versus Rinky, Nigel versus AFC Stan, Stan versus Mitchell. They've all been ruined by a mistake on the track and on very fresh tyres as well. And that is a pity for Nigel. He could have got at least P9 from all the chaos that happened on the start of the race. But it's another DNF today, as Johnny and Maledictus are joined by the pole setter today.
Johnny still catching on Spaghetti.
He is indeed. He's 1.3 now, 1.2. Every corner is going down by a tenth. And I think very soon, well, it's gonna have to be soon, because there's only 2.5 laps to go. We'll see a battle between these two. Spaghetti, though, again, I don't think he's picked up a penalty on the meantime. He hasn't. He's very close though. And Grangebeer with a penalty, and very close to a second one. So I think Grangebeer, even if it gets past Spaghetti, is not gonna have enough time to get the 3 seconds. Tom Killer's way too far back, and Rinky obviously with 2 seconds, with 2 penalties, sorry, of 6 seconds. 18th lap now started on these intermediate tyres. Gamer leads almost 10 seconds from Rinky. Jay's a further 4.3 back. Spaghetti 3.2, and Grangebeer has a lot of time. It's 1.4 seconds now. As that's undefined. He's moving slowly in the second sector. I think his tyres will be well gone now. 20 laps on these, and he's gonna have to do at least one more, unless he waits for the leaders to come and lap him. They're pretty close. We'll see. A very hectic race. And I think 10 more laps and we would have seen slicks, as the track is pretty dry now. Rain isn't coming down, obviously, as much as it was. Warlock lets everyone through, lets Gamer through. And now Grangeby is losing a bit of time, so I think, yeah, that's going to be all the battles for today. We've seen a lot of them, and very exciting ones. There's still one more lap to go. Warlock, yeah, Warlock spun it in the first corner. Again, that must be. Okay, so. Oh, Rinky loses the back end. Look at that, the track is dry, is bone dry on the first sector.
Yeah, there's no rain anymore.
There's absolutely no rain, so maybe the second and third there might be some, but the tires are really going to be hot here. Grangeby are very close to Spaghetti.
The game is losing it.
Well, Spaghetti's got no straight line speed. Grangeby is going to let him through. No, Grangeby's going to go through, sorry. And around the outside, a bit of contact made. I'm not sure if Spaghetti knows Grangeby's got a penalty. Obviously no championship points awarded today, but 4th place would be nice for Spaghetti. There's only 1.5 sector to go for Spaghetti to not lose more than Gamer, of course. Gamer around the final corner is going to round off the first evaluation race of Formula 2 with a victory here in Germany. Very nice race, over 12 seconds, and there might be even more from Rinky as he's losing the back end absolutely everywhere. The checkered flag is being waved for Rinky. It's almost 20 seconds. He's gained 7 seconds on that, on these last few laps, obviously. Spaghetti has got 3rd in the end, so Jay must have got a penalty very late on, and we didn't spot that. I don't think popped up, I'm not sure, but Spaghetti's just snatched it as well, 0.5 of a second. So Spaghetti really slow on that last lap. Yeah, really slow on that last lap, and about made it to the podium. So wow, interesting. Jay obviously P4. Undefined has finished the race now. And P9 is coming around on a bone dry track, 22 lap old tires. JTX actually on ultra soft, so yeah, we saw it all today, didn't we? Started with, well, what was it? We started with West, didn't we? We went to intermediates. Now we've got an ultra soft runner. Ultra soft, I can't even speak anymore. Yeah, what a race, great race to be fair for an evaluation race. Got a lot of people as well, and obviously well done to the top 3, well done to anyone who finished on these conditions. It's Gamer who takes the early season crown, and next week we'll see if that repeats itself in pre-season testing in the new track. It's a Paul Ricard. We're heading to France next week, but before that we're obviously going to wrap up the evaluation race phase with the Formula 1 race tomorrow. Same circuit, different drivers, hopefully different conditions as well. And yeah, streamed, obviously live streamed and commentated by 2 very good commentators. The Badger Man also raced in F3, got a podium, and Owen Wyatt. So join us tomorrow. Thank you for watching. These are the last results with I believe 12 people finishing today. So these are the final results. We'll catch you guys next week, and from Bad Boy and I, goodbye.